Start. So this is Judoka Talk with Judoka, and we're gonna talk. So anyway, we got 5 people with us. We got me, Jayne. We got Alaa El Idrissi, Liam Wright, Geronimo Saucedo, and Jesse Butler. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello, what's up, everybody?
So I'm bringing on Alaa to talk about Alaa stuff. And first, I want to just ask you, the obvious question. How's the pandemic treated you? Because we just mentioned that last time you were able to do any real judo was February, which is, last time I stepped on the mat was February, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the pandemic is hitting everybody like in a different ways. Some is treating them good, some is treating them bad, some is just like normal, trying to survive by. But a lot of people, I'm one of those people that like my last judo session. It's not like I don't do judo. I have a club, so I do judo every single day, whatever, 3 to 4 times a week. But as a high level competitor, that's not enough. You guys all know that, right? Like you have to keep maintaining the training, you have to keep maintaining all of that. But I do train 1 to 2 times a week with just like doing ochikomi and literally throwing one of my students around. That's it. That's how I've been getting to my judo sessions. I've been doing that. Like I think my last real judo session, it was back on February. So all this months since the pandemic, like I think we went to Morocco as the last tournaments that we went in, and they canceled everything.
Yeah.
So since they canceled everything in Morocco, I already went there. I was
Yeah.
and like, whoa, they canceled everything. So they canceled everything. I was lucky because I got back to the U.S. and they just locked the border of Morocco because I was gonna be stuck in Morocco for a while. So I was lucky in that part that I came back. Then everything in the U.S. was locked too, so couldn't do anything. So I took like a month off from training completely. I did not do anything, judo, rest, whatever. I stopped completely. Took a month off. I've had injuries. I let them heal. So I was like, all good. Starting again back. The IGF was like, oh, we're gonna have to do something back in whatever. Like they give that time. That time seems to me like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I let everything go. My mind, it was like just everything running on, on and off, on and off, on and off. And I just got fat like everybody, Everybody's like getting fat and happy, most of the judo players. Like we're not in Europe where I'm gonna say everybody has like multiple training partners in one area, and they just locate somehow and they can train somehow. We are like here. I am in Philadelphia. I probably have 2 players that they are like maybe 1 that he knows the high level judo. Then if I want to do like some judo, I need to travel 2 to 3 hours to train with somebody that like at least it's gonna be good or giving me a hard time or something. So it's kind of like we all spread out all over the U.S. Minimum travel that you're gonna do is gonna be 2 to 3 hours. That's just a minimum to drive if you want to like fight with somebody that knows what to do.
Alaa, what was your heaviest point? When were you the heaviest?
You're not gonna believe me.
That's a tough question there.
You're not gonna believe me. I went up to 196. I'm walking out right now with 186.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. So I don't know if
Imagine
you guys
Alaa wrestling
I
in
worked out.
197.
I work as a strength and conditioning coach for I think 3 to 4 years. So in my bulking like period, I just go heavy and I know what to do so I can get from a certain point to a certain point. So I stopped doing everything and I was just like, scheduling my things, scheduling my training, bulking up because I know that like we're not gonna have anything for a while. For a while.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I thought I was the only one that started lifting heavy and tried to bulk up during this time.
No, I think it's the right thing. I'm letting my body heal. First, I've had so many injuries during last year. I think I've been like, I've been like competing all last year with like severe injuries on my knee, shoulder, and elbows. So half of my technique, I wasn't able to do them. So I was just like trying to maintain. So this phase right now, I was like just like trying to focus on my lifting, healing, and just like being good. So I went from I usually walk with 160, 165. That's my normal. Now that's my normal walk. 160, 165. I'm on 145. I compete on 145. If you guys, every one of you guys knows when I get to a tournament, I was always like, 155, 160 every single time. I had to cut like 15 to 10 pounds every single tournament. I walk in with 140. I walk in with 160, 165. That's my normal. The highest I've been going is 196. And this year, so, yeah, I know. Some of my friends, they were like, "Oh shit, Allah, you don't really look like." I don't really look like that fat. When you see me, you're gonna see like, "Oh Allah, you don't really look like 196." But as soon as I step on the scale, you're gonna see the difference. So I was just enjoying my life, you know. I've been always cutting weight, so right now is the time to enjoy your life.
I think right. I don't think you did anything out of the ordinary. I think letting your injuries heal up is very smart.
Oh yeah, because it's a good time that we're not doing any renderies, we're not doing any breakout things. Just like focusing on functional training, you know, try to get my body aligned together, you know. All of this stuff I've been like just injuring, try to repair it. So it's just like that, repairing the bodies, repairing the muscles, letting it heal. Not over breaking stuff with like a lot of renderies. So yeah. It was a good time, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that time's probably going to continue for another half year.
So I think so the IJF is talking about back on what? On September?
Yeah, it's Budapest, right?
October, Budapest?
Yeah.
October.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen. If it happens, the rules that the IJF going by, I don't think as a US judo members we're gonna be fit to do that, like, because you need to get the CPR, whatever, like the COVID thing for like 2 to 3 days. You need to be valid for 5 days. Then you need to travel to that area, and you're gonna have to stay there for what, 3 to 5 days, whatever, like days that they're gonna give you, and you only need to be in your room. Yeah. So we are judo players. We going in, people are going 10-pound heavy, 15-pound heavy, you know, minimum. Let's see you just like 4 pounds heavy. You need to train. You need to move. You're not going to be like locked out in your room and you just come out. And plus you're traveling from a continent to a continent. This is like the minimum of 8 hours or 9 hours travel that you're going to hit. By the time you're going to arrive there, and even in your diets or whatever, you're going to arrive there, you're going to arrive heavy. So I think it's going to be challenging for the US guys to do that. I'm not ready to do Budapest, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just passing it. But if something happened, I'll probably be in Japan. I'll probably do Japan. So I will see what Budapest is going to come up with. And if something, then starting my year by Japan probably.
Yeah, that's what I was probably thinking of doing, because they can also take away the Olympic ranking points from the competition. So they've said, one of the things they said is that the competition can happen, but it won't be for Olympic ranking points
Why?
because maybe it's unfair for half the country to make it to the competition. Like
So
for
they're
half,
not gonna have. So what's the point?
like if only like if there's only like 6 people per weight class, they probably won't count it for as an Olympic ranking competition.
Oh, that's sure. Like, can't be like that. I
What
mean,
about prize money?
what's the point of having a tournament if it's not gonna be an Olympic event?
Yeah, why take the risk?
Why
Like-
take the risk?
Yeah.
Like, if it's not an Olympic event, nobody's gonna show up anyway.
Well, what about prize money?
So
Well, also, like maybe most of the European
They will give
countries
you-
make it,
they-
but
they will give you the prize money. Who cares about the prize money if your health it's at risk?
yeah, it's not that much. It's not that much prize money.
$3,000. You win a Grand Slam, you won the $5,000. You go to the hospital, you spend more than that. So just think about that.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Like, you go in an event, IGF event, okay, if it's willing, people is gonna risk their whatever they're gonna risk is because of the Olympic dream. If there is no Olympic dream, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, like, it's for me, it's the last shot. So what I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna go for a tournament. I'm going for points. I'm not going for whatever. You're going for points. That's it.
yeah.
Just
So
to be at the tournaments because you don't want to be at the tournament, that's not right.
yeah, that's why it's risky to even go to the tournament, because I feel like they might just see like who shows up and then decide whether that's going to be worth the points or not.
I don't. Again, I don't know how this thing is gonna go.
Yeah, there's still like a few weeks till it happens, and
So is it for sure they announced it it's gonna be in September?
no, it's October 23rd is
October, sorry.
right. I think guys, is it October, right?
Yeah, it's October. Yeah. I think it's a little over a month.
Yeah, it's a little over a month from now. So
So October 23rd to the 25th is in Budapest. November 28th to the 29th is in Chile for Pan American Open. December 5th through the 6th is Pan American Open in Peru. December 11th through the 13th is Grand Slam in Tokyo.
thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome.
So say it again. I'm sorry.
October 23rd to the 25th is a
Yeah.
Grand Slam in Budapest. In
Okay.
November 28th through the 29th, there's a Pan Am Open in Chile.
Mhm.
December 5th and 6th is a Pan Am Open in Peru.
Okay.
And then December 11th through the 13th is a Grand Slam in Tokyo. That's all I have right now.
Hmm.
That's what I got sent for the selections for the rest
Yeah,
of the year.
select forms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Masters got sent to.
I'm just being bad. I don't really check the selections. I'm like, I just turned my mind off for
Yeah.
a lot of stuff right now.
Well, selections are open now, by the way. You should really jump in there.
The deadline's the 15th or the 16th, they said?
Yeah.
Well,
So do you think those Pan American Opens are even going to happen? Are
No.
they?
like with what
I mean,
it is right now, what's worth the risks? Like, you're going to Pan Am Open for 100 points. Even if you win it, it's 100 points.
Yeah.
What's gonna do
And I
to you
mean-
100 points?
the categories were small already, like without COVID. There was like probably like 15 people maybe. Now with like, I don't think there's gonna be enough people to even consider having points. So
Yeah.
thank you, Liam.
got you.
I don't know. I think yeah, the IJF's being a little hopeful with what's going to happen.
Well, we hope this COVID ends first, and
Yeah.
we focus about training and we focus about things.
Yeah.
Now is, for me personally, the goal number one is to survive, to just heal, and just to live it day by day
Yeah.
and be grateful for whatever we have. You know,
And
because we
so-
don't know what tomorrow is folding for us. That's it. That's what I
And what's it like being running? Because you run your club in Philadelphia, so what's it like being running the club during this time? Did you have to like shut down for a while? I don't know what the
Yeah,
rules
we did
are
shut
in.
down for like, I think months or 2 months. 2 months, yeah, completely. We shut down completely. We had our school like closed. Um, During that time, I was like running Zoom classes, it was really helpful. The focus of the Zoom classes is not to become like a Olympian or whatever, it's just like to help these people maintain a schedule, maintain training, you know, be like focused, have them have like some sorts of like a purpose that something is normal for them. We keep the same hour, we keep the same everything, you know. The focus on training, it was like more on movements and learning a proper technique on judo. So if we choose a technique for like a week or 2 weeks, we focus on that. We work it out for like all the direction in that. So it was just like trying to get these people to keep themselves from going insane with all this nonsense going around, you know. But it was really challenging. Now when we opened for it's about like what 3 weeks now where we open. I still have I have my hour classes for the adults as normal. So I did 2 tiers. The tier one is people that they're not comfortable touching other people, and I did tier two where people that like really don't care. They just like going on and like training. But I've had it mandatory that like everyone in tier one and everyone in tier two wear masks. So they have to wear masks no matter what.
Hmm.
Plus, I've had a schedule of Zoom classes or the people that they're not comfortable coming in also. So it was just like I'm trying to balance, trying to keep these people going in and trying to keep my business alive too. So it's
What's
just
the difference in numbers between tier 1 and tier 2?
tier one. So I'm lucky that I have in tier one, it's only families.
Nice.
I have like bunch of families that they all come together. So even when I say it's no touching on tier one, it's all families that comes together. So I have to spread them out. So let's see, family one and family two, both of them having like 4 members on that class. What we do is I do not touch them as a coach. I just like
Yeah.
supervise everything. They go, they have to go. I tell them what to do and they have to go. So from me walking by, try to fix what I can, see if they are comfortable at like that level, but it's good. So usually my tier one is all like full. So tier two, which is, it ranges between 8 people to 12 at each classes during the week. Because I have a weekend one, which is like Sundays, and I have a Sunday class. Usually Sunday class is tough. Tier one is usually full because it's families. Tier two, it depends. 1, 2, whatever. Zoom classes is also like that. Some people show up during the week. It's okay, they show up, but during the weekend, it's kind of challenging.
Yeah, I had because I was helping out with my judo club, and I found that like organizing Zoom trainings just got harder and harder as like we got late like more and more deep into the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure for what reason, but just like any sort of like trying to organize people just became harder and harder to like get people to show up at a certain time, because it started off having like Zoom sessions with like 6 to 8 people. And then by the end, it was just me and like the son of like the head coach, and he was forced to be there.
It's for me. It was like always. It was always good. The Zoom classes was always good. I always had good members. It just you have to keep the schedule. So personally, for me, I always keep this. I kept the same schedule as everybody when we were before the pandemic. So I keep the kids' class at this hour, those classes at this hour, at this hour. So when we did Zoom, I just like, look, we have 6 o'clock to 7. It's 1 hour training for everybody. You got to join the Zoom. Here's the Zoom link. You got to start training. The training is not about like making, I said again, it's not about making gold medalists or world champions or whatever. Because some of the people said like, oh, what's the point of doing Zoom classes if you can't touch anybody? Judo is about like, no, judo is more than just being on a room with somebody is doing uchikomi. Yeah, you have to understand, like if you don't understand how to move, you're not going to be able to do the moves. Now, if you have a beginner and you can just like guide him through the movements and make him understand movements, it's going to become like whenever you're going to put him back into the gym, he's just going to become like way better. He's going to become a better, I'm just going to say, like he's going to become a better judoka. So through the pandemic, I was also like just always focusing on having my people learning the body movements of each technique. So let's see, we give it an example. I give an example. Uchimata. Like it's easy. You do Uchimata, right? Some of the beginners, they don't really know how to do Uchimata. So you break it down to pieces. And you just like make them work through the week. For each week, you make them work into that piece, that one piece. Whenever like they finish working on that piece, then you make them move to the second. And you can make them move to the second and third and going. And by the time like you're doing a 4-week cycle, then you're gonna have them connect all these dots together. And they're just gonna become better. And they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so your hand goes here, your foot goes here, then your other foot will go here. If you make them go through the process and make them like just going for it, it's gonna be good. So that's what I think.
So aside from the pandemic, how do you focus on coaching and being an athlete at the same time? Because you also have to eventually make time for your own training, you know?
Yes, sir. So usually I have during the week I have 4 sessions of strength training. That's my personal sessions. I have my personal strength and conditioning coach that I go to and I work with. So every coach needs a coach. Every person needs somebody that's going to supervise in any field. Okay. So I go 4 times a week. I do my strength and conditioning. I go to my coach. Then I work 4 times during that. I work 4 times a week on just like technical work. Just me choosing somebody. Like one of my students is, I'm privileged that I had one of my students is, he was a brown belt. He just got promoted to a black belt like a couple weeks ago, or last week. But he's my size, and he's Italian. He's been doing judo for over 8 years or something like that, and he's been working with me personally a lot. So I just choose him and I do technical session with him. So I go in, I make him do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. I need a coach as myself. I say that I need a coach, but I don't have that in here. So I just have to work with what I have. So I make work of that. Then I do once a week or twice randori sessions. I make Friday. So at my club, I have people that comes into my club we do like a Friday fight night. We call it Friday fight night. And I just like go for randori as much as I can. Like I just try to go for randori. So like for the week, I will end up like doing four strength sessions, 4 technical sessions, 1 randori sessions or 2 randori sessions. That's during the whole year. That's how my workout schedule, my personal workout schedule. That's a side of me teaching around an hour and a half. That's 4 hours to 5 hours a day teaching judo. No, not a day. 4 times a week.
Okay.
That's a
So-
really busy schedule you got there.
Oh yeah, I do have a heavy schedule. Then I train jiu-jitsu. I train jiu-jitsu like Monday night, Wednesday at noon, and Friday. I have double sessions. Friday I have like jiu-jitsu from 6 o'clock to 7:30. Then straight from 7:30 to like 9 o'clock, I do have a randori session. So literally, on Friday. I stay from 6 o'clock till like 9:30, and sometimes I invite people from New Jersey. You know Brandon. Everybody knows
Worthing?
Brandon, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he comes in. Have Adam comes in. Adam Moyman. We
Mhm.
have. Yeah. So sometimes I travel. Sometimes I travel to Brandon's club on Tuesdays. Usually on Tuesdays I travel to Brandon's club so I can have more randories with them. But that was last year what I was doing for my train. I was just like doing Tuesday I go to them, Friday they come to me. That way we have 2 good randori sessions a week. But beside that, like 4 days a week strength training, 4 days technical sessions, 2 days randori, and jiu-jitsu I think is like between 2 to 3 times a week to sometimes 4 times a week.
Do you ever cross train with wrestling? Because Pennsylvania is a pretty good wrestling state, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah, you're gonna say like I do a lot. I am a high school wrestler. I'm a high school coach.
you're a high school wrestler.
No, I'm a high school coach. I'm a high school coach, assistant coach at French Central High School. So what I do is I just go in and I teach during the week, Monday to Friday, from 3 to 5.
Are you able to bring over many people from wrestling into judo?
We do have like some cross training, but like because of the schedule that like the guys going in during the wrestling season, it's kind of tough to
But
bring
like
them
off
in
season.
because where I coach is a little bit further from where my club is.
Oh, okay.
So it's just kind of like challenging. But like during the Sunday, I have like so many wrestlers that comes to my club and just start like working with me personally. I do have like some of the wrestlers that works out with me like personal training sessions on Sunday classes. I don't like having my wrestlers coming on my mats and wearing wrestling shoes. So that's why like I forbid that in my club. So if people want to wrestle, like if my guys that wants to come and do wrestling, I do not let them wrestle. I just let them do judo. So I just like I'm like straight out like this. When I'm at the high school, I'm teaching wrestling. When I'm at the dojo, I'm teaching judo, straight judo. Even with the jiu-jitsu guys comes in and says like, oh, we want to learn takedowns. And I'm like, we don't teach takedowns. We teach judo. Judo is an art. So I want to make it sure and make a statement. So we teaching judo, we're teaching an art. We're not teaching takedowns. Takedowns is a part of the judo, but it's not everything. With wrestlers too, I'm saying the same thing. I've won wrestling nationals. I'm like a freestyle national champion in Morocco. I've won like so many other stuff in wrestling, but like I've never, when I go to wrestling, I wrestle. When I come to judo, I do judo. When I go to jiu-jitsu, I do jiu-jitsu. So you just have to have that. Of course, judo will help, wrestling will help jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu will help judo and will help also wrestling. But you just have to find that balance. And you as a coach, what you, how I'm going to say it, what do you like, what do you prefer teaching? Some of the coaches, they see no problem on people teaching wrestling or whatever. So I just don't focus on that. I just like every single time I'm stepping on the mat, if I'm doing judo, I'm doing judo. If I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. If I'm doing wrestling, I'm doing wrestling.
Do you ever really teach any of the judo throws to the high school wrestlers?
All my high school wrestlers learn judo takedowns or judo throws. Actually, I have a 220 that he made it to nationals, the prep high school nationals.
Oh yeah.
He made the top 12 on the nation. He
Pretty
won.
good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He ends up he's also Moroccan too, so it's kind of like easy to communicate with him and just like have fun. So all his throws, it was Ogoshi and Kosoto because it's big guys, big boys throws.
Yeah.
So he ended up like just like going with the guys and just doing doing Ogoshi and Kosoto. That's it. And he won all his matches with that.
Yeah. I
He
used
ended
to
up
wrestle
like doing
320
Ogoshi straight to a pin. Doing Kosoto Gore straight to a pin.
I mean, Kyle Schneider lost in the NCAA final to a Kosoto, which is pretty funny.
What? Well, how am I gonna say it? Like, wrestling is fun, right? But judo is more fun. And
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
challenging. Wrestling, you're grabbing the people and you're grabbing the body, and you're like, I'm gonna say, you're sensing and you're feeling. But like, when you have a gi, you have those like false signals. Like how I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it? Like it's not the same. It's not
Yeah,
the same.
definitely. I don't know. I think judo, with having the gi, it gives you much more like range of options for throws and combinations. And obviously in wrestling, once it gets into about 6 minutes into a folk style match, things just get so slippy that about the only technique that works is a low single. And that's something I like about judo is that, it can go 10 minutes into a match and then you'll have a huge ippon because you're still able to grab, and because of how loose judo can be, sometimes those big throws can really happen, where it's a little more rare, I think, in wrestling.
I don't know about you, but when I used to wrestle, I had a hard time grabbing onto the other person because they were sweaty. And judo gis don't get sweaty.
Don't get sweaty.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like, I don't know. I feel like that has a lot to do with it. But
Yeah,
I
that's
only wrestled
I
for
think
like
all of you guys wrestled, right? Like
Yeah.
Saucedo wrestled, Jayne wrestled. Liam, you did wrestle too?
No, I didn't wrestle. No.
Geronimo, are you going to wrestle in
You
college?
missed the fun.
No, I'm already in college, but no, I am not gonna wrestle anymore in college.
Oh. I don't know. I like college
Why not?
wrestling.
Why?
There was a few options. I could have gone to a few schools in Iowa. I was talking a while with UNC. There was a possibility of going over there, but I just chose to pursue judo rather than wrestling. It's just a choice that I had to make.
Yeah. I don't know.
I won state in Texas, so then right after that, there was like more schools that wanted to talk to me, but at that point, I had already made my decision.
Okay. Well, you like judo more, or you prefer? It's not like about liking. You prefer judo more, or?
Yeah, I enjoy both. My brother's still in high school, and I'll wrestle with him because he needs some practice. He's gonna go to a national soon. I don't know which one's coming up. But it was just a choice. I just chose to do judo. I think I had a lot invested into it, than I did in wrestling.
It also becomes a lot harder to focus or train judo when you go to any of the bigger wrestling schools or any of the wrestling schools, because then you're moving away from your judo club.
Yeah.
It also becomes a little, I don't know if shady, but there's a gray area with judo and wrestling in college because of the NCAA. If you're making money, technically you're a professional, So if there's a possibility for you to make money in judo, which
Yeah.
at the end of the day, at the Grand Prix and the Grand Slams, there is a possibility to make money there.
I avoided that by not being very good at wrestling.
But it becomes a gray area.
Didn't you like win like what states or whatever?
Well, when I went to Fargo Nationals, I got 7th in Greco, and then I got to the round of 12 in freestyle. And then at that time I was talking to the Harvard assistant coach, and I was trying to get into Harvard with wrestling. And then I did better than all of the Harvard recruits at Fargo, like by miles. And then they're like, no. And then I was just like, okay. And I could have gone to UPenn.
You'd have been closer to me.
In hindsight, I should have gone to UPenn because I could have wrestled D1, but
Okay.
their coach at the time was kind of a jackass. And then as soon as I decided to go to U Chicago, they fired that coach at UPenn and brought in another coach that was better. And so that kind of screwed me there, but that's life. And then wrestling D3 is just you're gonna I'm always gonna choose academics over wrestling D3. So there was times I'd going into a meet having pulled 1 or 2 all-nighters in a row. I show up to the meet and I'm just completely dead. What do you want from me to pick D3 wrestling over my math degree? I don't know. You can't. It's hard to take.
Yeah.
It's hard to wrestle when you go to a really academic school. It's hard to take your wrestling as seriously when you are faced with midterms coming up. I don't know. For me, it was a lot harder to balance the academic wrestling balance because I didn't wrestle in high school. So I was never used to the American system of schooling. So it just completely threw me off.
I've never had that privilege of having school and wrestling or judo or whatever. And I always had to choose between to do either you want to do sports or you want to finish your school. So I choose the sports. That's years ago. Then that's it. So you guys privileged to have that privilege.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely a privilege.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I was doing judo back in high school, since in the English school system, all of the important exams are at the end of the school year. So I would do judo heavily throughout the entire year. Then I would just not do judo for a month while the exams are happening.
Yeah.
Instead of having to have some sort of actual balance in life. So I feel like it's in England, it's a lot easier to actually be able to do sports and schooling, whereas I find the balance was a lot harder in the American system.
The American system is really challenging on having all this together. You have to have a really good support system to be able to just succeed at both, But again, it's everywhere in the world, beside Europe. Europe they're well organized on having the both. I don't know about Japan or the Asia stuff. So because when you guys all seen all these judo players, they live in the universities, they train, and they get the degree at the end of the freaking whatever.
Aren't they doing degrees in judo?
Oh yeah, they have specialty, they specialize in judo, because what they do is how I'm gonna say they produce coaches to they send them to overseas. They have this overseas whatever what do you call it, scholarship or something like that they send them somewhere that they have to be at certain country for 2 years to teach judo. So let's see, the US wants a judo Japanese coach. They can have a judo Japanese coach for 2 years for $0. But that guy will be getting paid by the Japanese Federation as of his whatever out of the country or whatever, like program where they like pay them like $2,000 or something like that for the month, plus the federation that like is having that Japanese coach is gonna pay for his I'm gonna say like his stay, food, and other expenses. So basically, he will be like sent to a country, getting $2,000, and the other country that he's gonna be at is gonna provide him with food and where he can sleep. That's it.
Yeah, I think when I was on the British team in cadets, we had a Japanese coach for a bit, and she traveled with us. Her name was Yuko, and she was really good. And now she's the head coach in Brazil. So
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
yeah, so like which for me was just like, oh, I know. It's like I just saw her like become the coach in Brazil, and I was like, I remember you from cadets. Like,
Well, we've had that in Morocco too. I've had a Japanese coach for 2 years, and he was in the program. So I was like just talking to him all the time about like, hey, so what's going on? What's this and that? And he just like filling me out with. And whenever like I go to Japan a lot. Have a lot of friends Japanese, so we just like chit chat about things, and they're really cool. They're super cool. Plus, they're technical, super technical. You know?
oh yeah. But I don't know if that's good. Like, has America ever had one of the like Japanese people come over? Because we don't really have like a center where they can go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. So this is the problem in here where how I'm gonna say like I can't understand is because we're not centralized. We don't have like a really centralized system, which is how I'm gonna say it's really difficult for athletes to keep training or like even reach a certain level if there is no centralized training. So everyone that is working by himself, that's including me, it's just gonna be like, okay, we work for ourselves, we do everything by ourselves, even if we have coach or whatever. But like you're still not working with a team. You only like see each other in events, you know, or at camps. It's gonna be difficult for a group of people or like this team to do. I'm gonna say well if there is no centralized training. That's my personal view. That's my personal opinion. You know, and that's what I think is a U.S. Judo team or like USA Judo needs to centralize everything and have these guys that like really interested on like achieving a certain level to be at one place and to train at one place and make it like more professional. So
I think what you're saying is totally true, but I think, for example, the smaller country in size, I'm talking, not population, but smaller countries, for example, all the Europeans, Japan, I
yeah,
think they don't run into the problem of their athletes on the weekend can go home.
yeah,
You know, if you were to live in Colorado or if you were to live in LA, wherever, and you're from the West Coast, East Coast, wherever, you don't really have the option of going home every weekend. You know, and I think that's what doesn't allow that system to work in the US. One of the reasons.
I don't think that's the reason because even in the small countries, people or like athletes, they don't really go see their families every weekend. Just to be honest with you, because some of the athletes are like just more focused with the training and like being in the tournaments every weekend and not gonna be able to see your parents or your family, whatever. Your family can come and visit you. That's not the issue about like visiting family or whatever. When you create an entourage, when you create like a friendship where the team all like centralize on one part and they're all like going as a one family, that's your family. You see your teammates more than your family. So that's all over the world. You want to see like I'm going to give you an example. Like one of the smallest nation, right? In terms of judo, have like some big of the results. Look at Kosovo, right?
Yeah.
Kosovo is a small nation in numbers and in judo players, okay? But they have Olympic gold medal, world championship gold medal. and they have like now they have like what 3 or 4 athletes. They're like amongst the top level athletes. Why? Because all these three work in a bowl, work together, and they're all together, and they go everywhere. You see them every single time,
Yeah.
everywhere, with the similar faces and similar coaches. They're not like jumping up from coaches like, oh, so we're gonna have like this weekend we're gonna have X coach, next week we're gonna have X coach, other week we're gonna have a different coach. Sometimes we are in Japan tournaments and there was no coach. So all of those things are factors that will, how I'm gonna say, either it's gonna help the judo or it's gonna kill the judo. So when you are like as a nation and you're working on a system, you need to centralize everything. You need to have like a good system, a head coach that is gonna be the one that runs everything, and you're gonna have to have assistant coaches or people that like whatever. So that's what I think.
I think Germany is on the regional training center system where, Liam, I don't know if you know more about Germany, but I think they have, because they have Cologne, which has a lot of the heavier guys,
Well, it's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with creating
and then
like
Bayern, and then
regional training systems. There's nothing wrong with creating regional. So let's see, New England would have like a one regional like training center where we have maybe probably have the best, what, 60, 66, 73, or whatever. Just like have them in that area. Okay. Have a certain coach be with these guys. And you could create another regional like center in like Colorado area, whatever, like San Jose, whatever, like areas, regions that you guys have. So you're creating like 4 regions, regional training center, and you have like what? How many members? How many athletes are right now competing for the U.S. international?
I was gonna say I don't think there's enough players to do regional.
Mhm.
Well, I was. Let's give it an estimate. Like we are like, let's see, we are like what? Each weight division, we're like 4 members or 4 players that like playing.
more or
Maybe.
less.
Yeah, about
Maybe. Let's see. Let's just see. 70, 60 kilo have 4 guys, right? We create a regional training center of 60, 66, and 73, right? When we have like all this, let's see, if that regional center have only 2 guys from 60 kilo and 266 and 273, that's going to make them at least work together. And another regional have 2, 2, 2. That's like 6 people, 6 guys working in one area, making things are like looking good and looking up. So again, this is just me trying to, but I'm
Yeah,
not USA Judo.
but also actually one of the reasons that I like fighting for USA Judo is that it's not a centralized system. It's pretty much a privatized system, so you can go about and do what you want. Because for not many countries let their athletes live in different countries. Because I mean I like the freedom of being able to live in London.
Give me one athlete. Give me one. Just give me one. Out of the all athletes that they exist in the world, give me one athlete that achieved success or like won a gold medal by training by himself or like doing it his way. Give me
Okay,
one.
so give me like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I'll have it, but
John Jayne, you're not gonna have it. I'm just telling it to
yeah.
you right now. Now, if you want
Krista trained in
to
Japan.
achieve success, did you guys watch? Did you guys watch the documentary of Teddy Rayner?
no.
Okay, so guys, go and watch Teddy Rayner's documentary recently. It just like went out, I think couple weeks ago or something like that. It was in France 3. Go and watch that, and see how many people work with Teddy Rayner to achieve what he achieved. One person. He's working by himself, right? But like, he's not working by himself. There is like, he pays someone to just like come and take the falls for him. He pays somebody
Yeah.
to come and take the falls for him. Like the guy that he get paid, it was a high level competitor, judo athletes before, pays him like what? I don't know how much he pays him, but like he does pay him to come and just like take around 50 falls a day, you know, a session. You take over 50 falls from Teddy Rayner, you know what's going on right there, right?
Well, I don't know. For however much he pays him, if it's a good amount, maybe, man.
But like, look, you're doing it every day for a cycle of 4 years.
Yeah, you have to get paid to do that.
Dude, it's just like, even when you think you're working by yourself, you're not.
Yeah, so like,
Even when you're gonna think that you're gonna be by yourself doing things by yourself, you're not. You're always gonna need a group of people, a group of working people that is gonna help you to go to,
Yeah.
to achieve a certain level.
but that's where
You can't-
where a centralized system has some problems is that it is centralized and it doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's why I like having when there's more options and more freedom, because
So it is centralized, right? I would say centralized, but they always like work depends on the goals and depends on the abilities of people. You have, let's see, we have 6 peoples, right? Or we have like 8 peoples, whatever, 10 peoples. On this 10 people, we know that like it's only 2, right? That they can reach a certain level. But the rest, they're just like working partners. They're working in process. So basically, you're like following that program or you're following that training regimen because of this 2 or this 3. And that's what happened. That's what's going to lead to get like a medal at a high level. Like, well, tell me a team besides Japan that like they all have people that they're going to win gold medals or like at least place awards. I'm saying beside Japan because Japan has a different level. Japan, it has judo as a traditional martial art where like they play it as football, they play it as like everything, you know. But besides Japan, every nation that goes in from Russia or even the biggest countries, Germany, France, all that, they all work together to create maybe 1, 2, or 3 players that they're gonna place awards. That's the maximum. Just do your statistic and go and work and look at that
yeah.
and see how it goes. You're
Although
gonna see, like besides Japan,
there's not many individual like players who are pretty much individual. So
I mean, it's also different for you right now compared to like when everything's open because you travel a lot whenever you like you go
yeah,
to a lot of camps, you go to a lot of opens. So you're basically always training
training.
with people that you compete against. So you have a high level of competitors you train with regardless. Whereas people here back in the United States, we have to travel overseas most of the
Yeah.
time just to get the same exposure you get on a daily basis.
yeah. So that's why I like that I can.
So you have like more liberty in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, and also we have more liberty in the selection of competitions we can go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas, at least in Britain, and don't quote me on this, anyone, but the people from the national center pretty much get preference for selections at tournaments.
We'll decide. Yeah.
But even though there's very successful clubs like Camberley who have people who are good enough for certain competitions like Grand Slams, but then a new year starts and then British Judo decides to change the rules, where something happens and then someone from another club can't go because they're sending the center players, and so at least for us, everything is based on the IJF ranking, and just pretty much if you're you know, the number one or the number two. You can go to the competitions that you want to.
See, I don't agree with that. I personally, I don't.
I mean, I like Dan. That's one of the reasons.
So, you know, that's why, like, what I think is, I like centralized training, and I like where, okay, so I'm not like disagreeing or like having opportunities or whatever, but like you need to have a group of people that you know that you're going to be working with. With this system, that like today I can get injured and somebody else can go and work for 4 years, or like tomorrow that guy get injured, so we're going to see like every day we're going to see a different person, or every week we're going to see a different person. That's what's not going to help the nation, right? It's not going to help the nation on getting a medal soon, because you every day you're trying to work on somebody, or every week you're working on somebody, where we're going to be like, okay, today we're going to have, okay, Liam is going for this 4-year cycle. Liam, we know Liam is the number one. We're going to focus on this guy for 4-year cycle. We're going to give him his shots. We know that like Allah is number 2, right? We're going to give him his shot too. We're going to send this guy here. We're going to send this guy here. Both. But on the same time, we know that's this number 1, this is number 2. We give them their shot and we see who's going to progress. Instead of like having these 2 guys, and we will have another guy jump in front of them and be like, okay, well now we don't have whom we're going to work with. You know what I'm saying? You know what my point is?
Yeah.
Like you're always going to try, you always like, let's see, like you're working today, and this cycle, you're working with me, right? For this year. So I'm getting a lot of points, like I'm just going to go outside and get a lot of points and do all that work, right? But tomorrow I get injured and I am not number 1 anymore, right? Or like something happened in the tournaments and you got this guy that went in and got a medal. Okay, it's no problem. That's good for the nation. That's good for everything, right? But like the focus wasn't on making that guy as like when you have like centralized coaches too. So it's going to be difficult for them to work with multiple players where we're like, okay, we have this 2. This one is going here. This one is going here. We will see their results for the first year. Okay. So that first year we will decide which one is going, what's their results. Okay. The second year is we're going to see who is in the high jump. Now, when it comes to the third year, we send them both. We know that we're working with these guys, both of them. We've been working with them for 2 years. So the third year, we're going to send them both. And based on their results, it's going to decide who's number 1, who's number 2. Mm-hmm. But we've been working with them. We know that we're working with only these 2 guys to achieve the number 1 goal, which is like the Olympics in a 4-year cycle. Instead of like, okay, today we have Liam and Allah, but tomorrow we're going to have Jesse.
Yeah.
How are you going to get a medal like that? How are you going to get a medal? Just tell me, how are you going to get it?
I mean, we haven't had any medals recently, but.
Well, look, I'm not talking about Grand Prix, Grand Slams, or all this stuff. I'm talking about like if you a nation and you're trying to achieve success in World Championship or Olympic Championship. So those like a year goal, Pan Am Championship, so Pan Am Championship, World Championship, Olympic Games. So Pan Am's is every year, right? That will decide. You have your team. You're allowed to put 2 guys on the team. You put 2 guys on the team. This is what the rules is. And this is how it goes. That's what I think. That's my personal like whatever. I'd rather working with 2 people and know, because even in cycles, when you work for strength training, okay. So you're working for, like I've seen you like doing a lot of strength training programs, right? You cycle your program based on how many weeks?
Yeah.
How many weeks do you base your
for
cycles?
4 weeks.
4 weeks, right? And every 4 weeks you change, right?
Yeah.
What's your goal? Do you put a goal or you don't put a goal?
Well, you put a goal. I mean,
Right?
the goal is,
You're gonna, like, you're trying to hit your goal. You're gonna try to keep your work going together, right?
yeah. So you always have a goal in mind.
There we go. But when we have two people, we have their goal in mind. We want to be like, okay, let's see, Liam or Ala, like regional champions. That's the goal achieved. National champion, gold achieved. Now we're gonna go to World Cup, Grand Prix, Grand Slams. World Cups, goal achieved. Grand Prix, guys still struggling. We're gonna work on that. Goal achieved, then we move on. But the main goal, you're setting up, the main goal is Olympics. How are you gonna set that goal? How many stations you're gonna go to? What's the steps to achieve that goal? Are you just good enough to be like just play? Or are you good enough to go and collect? Or are you good enough to go and win? As a thing.
Well,
So everything you have to put is you have to set a goal, and you start. You start from your region, to the nation, to the international, to the World Cups, to the Grand Prix, to the Grand Slams, and you all work that together. When you have an athlete that can goes based on that, then you can build him up. Then you can work with him. Then you can like, okay, well, we have Liam and Ala. They're like, these guys are like our hopes to become like Olympians, or our hopes to get a medal at the Olympics. It's not like, okay, well, we have Ala and Liam. Then tomorrow we're going to have Jesse stepping in, and boom, that will ruin whatever. It's not like we're not working with Jesse. Jesse's still working the process.
Yeah. So it's just bringing everyone in to make sure there's more focus.
Right. So that way, like, everyone is moving forward.
Yeah.
So this cycle is done. The next cycle maybe become Jesse is the number one.
Jesse, you have your shot now.
No one. No, I'm just saying. Like, this is just examples. This is just examples.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you going and you're working. You're letting these guys. These guys are like in the lead. Okay, this is the dogs right here, and there is the watch out dogs that like just like coming after them, and they're just watching them to fail. They're always hungry and trying to get more. And that's how it goes in everywhere. In every, like, you go to a race, always you're going to get somebody that is in there, is working and has been working and is like trying to get better. And you get guys that like really hungry and trying to get what you have. It's like that.
So I'll,
Everywhere.
I think, I mean, you have obviously like a good idea of like how the centralized system would work. But for example, in the US, I mean, judo doesn't really bring a big revenue, you know, because it's not popular enough to bring a large revenue in. So how would you be able to fund that, you know? Because at the end of the day, someone has to pay the bills, you know? And the athletes, if they're training, they can't be working and training at that level in that system at the same time.
So that's another thing. So in the US, it's gonna be difficult to centralize that. It's gonna be difficult. So either need the nation to step up, it needs to the government to step up and say like, okay, we're gonna centralize this, and we're gonna have this athletes being here, and we're gonna pay for their like, how I'm gonna say, their bills, like meaning food, where to train and all that. Okay. and maybe they give you like a, how do you call it, like a stipend for like 500 a month or something like that if you need something. Now, it's gonna be depends on the player, on the athletes, right? If they want to achieve success and if they want to like be number one in their country, they're gonna accept that, and they're gonna be like, okay, well, I have no other options. I love judo. This is a sacrifice I want to make. I want to become a world champion. I need to go to that centralized part where the nation is providing me with that. Or you find private sponsors where they're going to sponsor people or they're going to sponsor the whole team and be like, okay, yeah, you guys can train here, do that, do that, do that, do that, and we're going to give you whatever it does. But like, it is difficult. In example, in Morocco, we used to be in a centralized place where, well, it
Where's
was
the center? Rabat or Marrakesh?
no, it was in Rabat. So when I started, we didn't have a centralized system. When I started, we used to do like some sorts of camps. So we used to train at clubs.
When were you fighting for Morocco?
I fought from Morocco from 2001, 2002 till 2014, 15.
Okay, that's a really long time.
Well, actually 2010, 2011, April 2011 was my last tournament for Morocco in it was Grand Slam Grand Prix. I was in Grand Slam Grand Prix of Germany. That was my last tournament, and I moved to the U.S. in 2011 on, I think I moved to the U.S. April 2011. But my last tournaments, it was Germany on February. So, but like being said that, like when I started doing judo, we didn't have like any centralized system. In Morocco, we have private clubs. Okay, so similar as the U.S. You go to a club, you train, you have judo clubs, you train at judo clubs. I was lucky enough that like the club that I was at, it's how I'm gonna say, it's like company privates where like my father used to work at the company. So when you like work, when someone works at the company, they have that club for their kids. So I go to that club and I just do judo. So it started there. All my life I was there. All my training career I was there. So I did not pay any tuition, but the tuition is in a private club in Morocco. It was like around, to do judo is like around, let's say $10 a month, $5 to $10 a month. For Americans is nothing. For Moroccans, it's an average pay. It's okay pay. So started like that. When I went in regionals, nationals, all that, went to the national team. So national cadets, I was like younger than the cadets, but like I reached to the cadets because that's what's the highest where we compete international. So when we started competing internationally at the cadet level, right, they used to bring us to the national training center, I think once a month for a full week. So we train normally at our clubs, normal, like we go like 3 times a week or 4 times a week. Then we come to the national training center for a full week where we do like 2 trainings sessions a day. So we do like 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, Monday to Friday, Saturday, we leave. Then next month comes out like that. That was how is the national training center. That's how is the national team training. But like when I grow up and all that, when I was reaching the senior level, then when we start centralize everything, then the high level guys are like the number one guys stays in the center. They don't really leave. We have like a place where the whole national team trains, and you're allowed to go out the weekends to see your family or not, or just like chill out or do whatever. But the weekends, it was like usually Saturday, no Saturday morning. After the Saturday morning session, everyone leaves, then come back on Monday, afternoon for the session. So we used to be at the training center for the whole full week. We do that, and you get paid a month. It depends. So either you get paid. So the guys that are not really like, I'm gonna say number 2, number 3, whatever, they get paid, but they don't really get paid as much as the number 1 guys. So that's how it goes. But the government, it was like paying for everything. It wasn't like really like clubs paying or anything. It was just like a government fund. We know that like you're the number 1, that you're gonna go to the African Championship or Pan Am Championship or whatever example, and they just like put you in on that center, and you have to train. So the focus is on you, right? Now you're number 1. They know that you're the guy. You out there, so you have to do all these stations. You have to train. Now, if somebody else comes in, and he's good too, he can be, right? They're gonna give him his chance. If he doesn't prove himself, then they're going with you. So that's how it's good to be in centralized. It's good at one point, because if you're like the secure number 1, you're gonna be like, okay, your head is focused on just like achieving your goal as to becoming Pan Am champion, world champion, an Olympic champion. Where like you're number 2, or like not centralized training, where your focus is to get your spot, to travel, to do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it shifts the focus. And when you shift the focus and you know that like you're just fighting for your spot, you're never going to achieve something. Just that's my personal, maybe, opinion.
Well, it's valid, but a lot of other sports in America are all through privatized clubs. I don't think many of the other sports have national centers, really.
I don't know.
I think most sports.
Wrestling they do.
Wrestling has their clubs.
Oh no, they have national training center, and they have regional regional centers.
But a lot of the people just train at their university club, I think.
But those are like, they have like the regional training centers. You go in and look at the regional training center for wrestling.
I also don't think it's very comparable because of the amount of people that
We
do
also
it.
don't have that many people, so.
And it's like you comparing wrestling. Okay, so wrestling in the US is like judo in Japan.
Yeah, it's not very comparable.
It's not comparable. You can't compare something.
Yeah.
You can't compare judo with wrestling in the US.
Yeah. I
So
think
you can
centralizing
compare
U.S. judo is going to be
to-
a messy system.
I think
It froze, right? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the mustache.
Yeah, right? Right?
The mullet. As you guys see the mullet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Run it
yeah.
out.
I like that he's getting kicked out from every lifted school he goes to. Or gym. I don't know why. That's my question. I want to ask him the same. I want to ask him.
Hey, congratulations on being a dad, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome,
Thank
man. How do you think that's gonna affect judo at all?
For me,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, hello, guys. Sorry.
Bad back.
To be honest with you, Jesse, I have no idea. I'm just going to the flow. Whatever is gonna go, I'm going with. I'm loving the moments that I'm gonna become a dad. I'm trying to embrace it.
Be more excited or scared?
I'm not scared. I was always loved to have kids, and I want to have kids. I wanted to have kids years ago. I just like, it wasn't ready. It wasn't the right time. I think this is so being said is was my last it was gonna be my last competition. It was gonna be on June or July to see if I'm gonna qualify for Olympics or not. So that was my last run. So I was always planning on my retirement by August of 2020. So that was planned from before.
Yeah.
That was my plan. I was like, okay, August 2020, either I'm going to be at the Olympics fighting or I'm going to be watching. I was already getting my tickets and everything. So I was like, either going to fight or going to go watch. Two things. So, but it was going to be my last tournament and it was going to be my ending chapter as a competitor for Judo. And I had to move on having my, so as of now, like I am running a program out of jiu-jitsu school.
Okay.
Right. But I'm actually expanding my program and I'm going to have my own personal location by the end of December.
Nice.
So I was planning on doing a lot of other stuff too. Just like I want to finish my career as an athlete, move on to becoming a full-time coach, which is like, and having kids and enjoy life more and just be a normal person and just do what I can to help Judo grow. But with the pandemic, all our goals were like moved out to a 1 year. So in my mind, I was like, I don't know what to do right now. Either I'm in the edge. Either I'm gonna stop and just like continue, or like continue with my life, or I just have to stop everything right now or do whatever to get by this year. See if I qualify. If not, then I tried my best. What?
How many points do you have left till? So
when I go to the world rank, the Olympic ranking list, I'm like amongst top 60. So I need 2 good results and I'd be in. So 2 good results for me, that's more than enough.
What's good?
Your ranking's about the same.
In winning something, I had to win something. So either winning Pan Ams and placing at a Grand Prix, I'd be in. I'd be definitely in. But like if I can't have that, it's just gonna be like, okay, well, I'm gambling. That's it. That's my personal thing. So when you go and see all this stuff, like if you count it, if I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be like in the one good day, I need to win something. 2 grand, like if you win something big, you're gonna be in. If you're not gonna win, it's just like, okay, well, I'm gambling. I'm getting 1 point or like 10 points or 100 points here and there. It's not gonna make me amongst the guys. Let's see. It's like, okay, so you win 700. You win a Grand Prix is at 700 points. You win Pan Ams is 700 points, right? Then you place at a Grand Prix or you place a Grand Slam. You place a Grand Prix, it's like 350 or something. Just 3rd place.
Yeah.
See, if I have like 1 win and a 3rd place somewhere, I'm definitely in. So
Yeah.
It's doable. I think you can do it.
It is. It's just like the focus.
We just need to.
So like last year, I definitely was like, I was busted. Like literally, all my limbs were like busted. Like everything. I've never like for a full year, I've had everything broken. I have my shoulder broken, my elbow broken, my knee broken. Had my groin pulled out. It's a lot of things, a lot of injuries. Plus, you're like, I'm at an age, I'm like almost 33. So when you get all that, it's kind of difficult. You know, it's here too. It's mine.
For sure.
It's mine more than anything else.
Yeah, you've been competing for a couple
For a long
decades
time.
now.
Like I've been competing for a long time, and my body was like just destroyed at one point. I did not give it like a proper rest, and sometimes not being in the right time, right moments. But like, it is completely doable if I pushed a little bit harder. So
Well, there's hopefully still time, and then you come back healed.
so with all this that it's happening right now, it just like doesn't let you think straight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just like makes your mind shift and makes your thinking shift. So for now, okay, the focus is on being safe and on being like healthy. That's the focus. The rest, again, I said it, like the rest it will come with the time. So excited to become a dad, which is that's what I loved having. So right now it's I'm so excited. Like people said like, oh Allah, are you scared of becoming a father or whatever? I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm looking forward to this new experience because becoming a father is probably like one of the most stressful things that you're gonna have, but I'm excited for it. It's a new chapter and I'm excited for it.
Would you have your
Also, like,
child go back into judo? Would you have your child go into judo, or would you just have them figure it out? Like try something else?
so for me, when on my thinking is having my kids, of course, I'm gonna be a full-time coach.
Hmm.
This is my thing. This is what I do. This is what I like doing. I'm setting up my school, my new school. I'm setting up of having like gonna have like judo every day and multiple times a day. Like I'm having 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock classes. I'm having noon classes and I'm having night classes. So I'm setting up for like every day we're gonna have judo classes. So I'm trying to grow the judo in the area, trying to make it more professional, trying to help educate more coaches or more judo players to become good coaches. So I'm doing a lot of things together in the judo community. So for me, my kid, when he's gonna be a kid, he's gonna be around that. Now it's up to him to choose. Either he's gonna want to become a judo player. That's what he wants. I'll always be there for him. If he does not want that, I'll always be his dad. No problem, no hard feelings.
To be a judo player.
What?
I said, so he can either choose to be a judo player or you're gonna make him a judo player.
I'm not gonna make him. I'm not gonna try to make him. Dude,
Oh, I'm
like,
I'm making when I have a child, I'm making him be judo.
no. That's a mistake that you're gonna do. That's a mistake that you're gonna do.
I was forced to do judo. My son will be forced to do judo, and his son will be
I
forced to do judo.
You see that's difference with me. I wasn't forced to do judo. I was a personal choice.
Yeah, for me the same. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was a personal
for a
choice.
while they were like, hey, you're gonna go into judo, and I was like, okay, but then I just kind of like tried the sport and just kind of fell in love.
I'm gonna tell you stories. I started martial art, or I started. So the area or the neighborhood that I was living at, it was a bad neighborhood. If you don't know how to fight, you're not gonna survive. Just the points like this.
Yeah.
So when I was 3 years old, my dad. By the way, my dad and mom, they're not athletes at all. They never done any sports. They don't do anything. It's just like my mom, she used to swim a little bit, but like they never done any martial art or anything. So, and I am the oldest at my parents. So I'm like their first kid. So at 3 years old, they put me into a martial arts school, which is like karate. So from when I was 3 years old to like I was 9, 10 years old, I was just doing karate. So the only problem with karate, so I reached a certain level that I wanted to compete and I wanted to fight, right? But when I wanted to fight, like in that karate school, it used to be like only one person that like if you want to compete, each club is allowed to have one competitor at weight division. It's only one by club. So I was me and the coach's son on the same weight division. I used to beat up the coach's son, but like his son, he's the one that's gonna fight. So it wasn't fair for me, right? It wasn't fair for anybody. Like, you guys know that. Like, okay, you're beating up this guy, but like this guy is like the one that like going and competing, and he get his ass whooped. He's the coach's son. So I decided to not start going to this karate club. So I start sneaking in from my because I used to walk to that like karate club. And I just like start sneaking in. I told my dad and mom that I'm going to this club. I'm going to the karate club. And I didn't. That was the first.
You rebel.
So look, so listen to that. So one day my dad went to the karate school and didn't find me at the karate school. He came home and he asked me, he's like, yo, where were you at? I was like, I was at the karate club. So he was like, okay. He knows that I lied. So that was the first lie. I went again the second day. He went in. He followed me. He went to the karate club. Did not find me in the karate club. Comes back home. He asked me the same question. I answered the same damn answer. And he's like just not swallowing it. The third time he went in and we did the same thing. Comes back. He asked me the same question. I answered him the same answer. I got my ass whooped. Straight up. I got my ass whooped. He's like, why are you lying to me? Never. First, you never lie about these things. And that was the first, second, third lie in my life. Then after that, like, boom, stop lying. Because I got my ass whooped. He beat the shit out of me. Then he said, like, okay, what's the problem? Why are you not going to this judo club? Why are you not going to karate? And it's like, listen, every single time I'm beating up this kid, he goes and compete. I want to compete, and I want to have like an Olympic sports. That was when I was 9, 10. Then he's like, well, you have to choose the sports, and you have to go. And I told my dad, he's like, oh, I don't know any other sports. I don't want to do anything. Then he's like, no, you have to choose the sports that you have to go to. And I'm like, and I want you to go in and check it out. And he's like, no, judo, no. Because when I went to this karate tournament, I was watching, and one of the judo players, he just like, I saw him doing Ippon Sinagi at the time, because it was in my mind, because I was a kid. So it was in my mind. This guy did Ippon Sinagi standing, went to the ground, and broke the other guy's arm with juji. So when you're a kid, you're looking at that, it's too violent for you. You're like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So he's like, you know what? I will bring you to this judo club. You will watch it. You will see if you like it or not. Then you can just like see what's going on. I went in, sit down. First, it was a Friday night. I looked up at that place. It was packed. It was like over 50, 60 guys just beating the crap of each other, like throwing each other. I liked it. I was like, whoa, is this judo? He's like, yeah, this is judo. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm signing up. That's it. That's how I started it. But it was a personal choice. I was like, he forced me to go, but it was a personal choice that I made my own choice to do a thing that I wanted to do. So I don't want to force my kid to do anything. If he wants to do karate, he's gonna go do karate. If he wants to do judo, he can do judo. If he wants to do wrestling, he's gonna do a sports for sure. Or she's gonna do a sports, whatever. Because I don't know if it's a boy or girl. It depends. So if she's gonna like doing judo, she's gonna do judo. She's gonna wants to do dancing, she's gonna do dancing. Whatever she like, whatever he's gonna like.
Yeah, he might be a dancer.
I don't know about that. You got me. I do judo, and I'm full-time commit. committed to judo. You got my wife that she loves judo, and she's well, I'm gonna say like half committed to judo, but she loves judo. So it's gonna be a good thing, hopefully.
Yeah, and I was my dad started me doing judo before I could talk, so I don't know if I had a choice, but here I am 20 years later, so
Well, aren't he like proud of you?
sure.
So that's the thing. Are you proud of yourself?
I'm proud of myself. That's all that really matters.
It's
That's
okay,
what
John. We're
matters.
proud of you.
We are
Yeah,
proud of
John.
you. Like
Thank
We're
you.
all proud of
go-
you.
going in, representing, doing all that, yo.
Yeah, facts.
I'm telling you, you
What?
need to celebrate. Otherwise, you don't win. You didn't win if you didn't celebrate.
Yeah.
It's like a
That's not
tree
what
falling down the
cheating
woods
is.
without. It's like a tree falling down in the woods with no one around to hear it. Like if no one knows you, like if no one knows you won, like did you really win?
Yeah.
That is not the same.
I don't know. I used to celebrate when I was a kid, but after I mean, with me, it was like, okay, well, judo is not about that. Judo is about like, okay, you have to be humble at the win and humble at the defeat. Both judo will humble you by the time that you
Yeah.
will just like, okay, it's
Yeah,
a win.
I'm
You're
very
always
humble in my
grateful.
celebration.
Look, you will be grateful for the win, and you will be grateful for the loss. So you take the loss as like something that you want to work on and just like improve yourself. You take the win as a chance that you already like you got something, but nothing is guaranteed, and it's like you're not gonna stay here for all your life. It's just that point. It's like you're going in, you're always going, you always try to do your best, and that's it. That's what I think. I mean, you're never gonna stay. You're never gonna stay number one forever. You're never gonna stay like what I'm gonna say like at the top of the mountain all the time. You're like always gonna like take a fall. You're gonna
Yeah,
get
but you
down.
can stay up there for a while.
Of course.
Like everyone has to retire, but like you can be number one for a good few years.
No, you can't. It's just like okay, it's a cycle. It's just like a
Yeah.
cycle. You're always gonna see a new person. You're always gonna see like something. It's gonna get that. That's
Unless you're Ono and then you're just number one forever. But
okay. Well, so like let's get. I was gonna tell that points earlier. So how many times Ono fights a year?
about
Like once or
once.
twice.
All right. How is he number one? If he's not getting exposed every week, to me, you're not number one. Like you can be number one, yes. Okay, you winning that world championship or you winning whatever doesn't mean that you're number one every day. Like those guys that like that online and hustling every single tournaments, they're getting exposed every single weekend. They can have good days and they can have bad days. Ono is a human. He can have good days and he can have bad days. But he chooses to fight only on the good days.
I mean, it's smart if you think about it.
Okay, it's smart if it's, I would say it's smart if that's what you choose to do.
I mean, why expose yourself when you're not at your best?
Well, that's not what judo is all about.
But like, if your goal is to,
You know
let's
about-
say, you want to be an Olympian, you want to have world champion, you want to be world champion,
Yeah.
you would focus on doing what's best for you to reach your goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for him, like, I'm not speaking from, I'm saying, like, I can see, like,
Yeah.
he's training his ass off, obviously. But when he comes and competes, he's at his best point. Like, he competes.
When he was the last time he didn't compete, right? In the Kanoka, like the Tokyo Grand
But
Slam.
I'm talking like international.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about international. Like me and Alex, we were like training at his dojo, right?
Mhm.
When it was the selection of when they're gonna choose who's gonna, I think it was like a fight off, where it was if he wins the Grand Slam, he's gonna be selected for Olympics, right?
Mhm.
Or if he didn't win, then what's his name? The two other guys that like
Stoichi or Ibinuma.
Hashimoto or Ibinuma,
Yeah.
they're
Mhm.
gonna be like the lineup. All right. He went in. He did not want to fight.
Yeah.
He was good, and he said like, I don't want to fight. Do you think that like Hashimoto is not a good guy?
No, he's good.
Hashimoto is world champion.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ibinuma is world champion.
Yeah.
in
Right?
66.
Yeah.
Well,
He's a
But
world
if you
champion.
compare,
either
you
way,
Okay,
he's a
compare-
world
he's
champion.
my world champion, but this is a
No,
different weight
You
class.
got these guys. You got this lineup of animals coming after you. So this has come to the point that centralized training is really good, and having who you're gonna have as number one, it's always. a
I
good
mean,
thing.
if you compare though, yes, they're all three of them are really good,
Yeah.
but Hashimoto has lost to people that Ono hasn't lost to. Ibinuma loses to people Ono beats.
Yeah, like like Hashimoto and Ebonuma are good, but they're nowhere near as dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you,
Hashimoto
Like, the last
hasn't
time-
lost to anybody.
Hashimoto lost to Mogushkov in Brazil.
Did you watch the fight?
Yes.
How did he lost?
He
We were
got
there.
scored
I was there.
It was Ari golden score, right?
What?
It was Azari and golden score, right?
Yeah. But like that's not the point. But Hashimoto, how
He
many?
lost to Changram
No.
at Worlds. He lost
Okay,
to
but,
Changram
like-
at Worlds.
Okay, that's not the point. All right, that's not the point. Hashimoto, how many fights? How many tournaments Hashimoto had that year?
A lot.
Right. So he's
Yeah.
exposed to people.
Yeah.
So he's exposed to other players. So he's taking risks. He's training. He's fighting his ass off. He's doing
Yeah.
things. Right.
Yeah.
And somebody's just like waiting until the last minute and goes in.
what
I mean,
about
he's not
Teddy
waiting.
Riner?
Okay, but the thing is,
What?
he's not waiting till the last minute though. He's training. He's going to the hardest competitions and still dominating.
What? Yeah, of course, yes. He's
Yeah.
like those are like, look, when you get like guys like this, I'm saying again, like beside Japan, there's no one can do that.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's no one can do that beside Japanese guys.
Mhm.
And
Well,
when you
just
see
wait
like
4 years.
how Ono, like he's 73 kilo, right? How
Yeah.
much he does for like the clean and the jerk. Did you see how much he does?
No.
Like 100.
190 kilos overhead.
Yeah.
so this guy is like he's just working for that. It's like a complete animal sitting there and just like working for all this. So it's good. And that's not the point. But like the point is like other guys that with him in the lineup, we know like Ono is the one guy that's gonna go, right? But the three other guys are like working to get there.
Yeah.
What about
USA.
Teddy? What about Teddy?
Yeah.
USA Judo or any other countries, they do not have that.
Yeah, but like we're not talking about like any other country. We're talking about like specifically Ono. And like Jesse just said, what about Teddy? Teddy doesn't compete a lot. He competes like once or twice.
Yeah, but like how many heavyweight do France have that is like the caliber of Teddy or someone can beat Teddy? There's no
Well,
one.
yeah,
Teddy lost in France.
Teddy lost to Kaguero.
Yeah.
Up
Yeah.
until then,
No, Teddy lost to a French guy at like
Okay, so
national
Teddy
peak.
doesn't get exposed to people right now. For like the last 4 years, he only like fought what? Last 4 years, he only fought like 2 tournaments, I think. Montreal,
Yeah.
right? Brazil,
Yeah, Montreal and Paris. once.
Brazil, and France. 3
And he
tournaments
lo-
he
he
fought
lost
in
his-
4
he lost
years.
his form.
In 4 years.
Yeah, but Ono does a lot more competitions in the same amount of time.
No, he does like he did.
Yes,
What?
he
No.
does Worlds almost every year, and he
Yeah.
does Tokyo usually,
Yep.
right? And then Masters.
Did he do Masters?
But Ono disappeared for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
I think
that's
the
not
more
my point.
impressive thing.
Ono is a legend. We can't compare ourselves
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
to Ono, whatever.
Well, I'm
That guy
comparing,
is
like,
a
Ono-
complete legend. But
I mean, I'm comparing
what
like
we
Ono
say
to Teddy.
is, what we say is, what I say is like this guy is okay. Is okay to be like that. Like he's that level. Can't reach that level. But like the lineup of the people that working with him, it's just like it's hungry. Like you look at Hashimoto, how he thinks right now.
Yeah,
Is awful. Like the guy is 2 times straight world champion and he doesn't have a spot for the Olympics. Are you crazy?
I
He
mean,
can go to any country. He can go to any country, right? And become world champion and go to the Olympics.
yeah,
He
but I
doesn't have that
mean,
option.
Ono has won Worlds before too. He won the Olympics, so he has credit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we're not taking credit. I'm not taking
Yeah,
credit.
I was just saying. So like, obviously, Japan has a much deeper like roster, I guess, of people. So they have like 3 or 4 more than 3 or 4 in
It's
every
not
single
like-
category.
when you got guys like, look, when you got guys that like training from their like whatever, when they open their eyes, like forced to do judo and just like stay at judo and do judo all their lives and have just, so when you go to Japan, right? When you train in Japan,
Mhm.
What's the max amount of randori that you can do?
Depends how fit you are.
Okay.
You don't need to be that.
yeah,
You don't need to be that to do random.
So what's the longest time of a randori you've done in Japan?
like
like
8 minutes.
like one round or like
Yeah, for one
back
round.
to back.
One round.
One round. I
Like
mean,
8
usually they're
minutes.
timed, so
What?
like, probably like 5 minutes maybe max.
So there is certain universities they do like 7 minutes, and certain
Yeah.
universities they do 8 minutes.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
in I was
Certain
in Tokai.
universities they do
doing
5
8
minutes
minutes.
of 25 rounds.
Yeah.
That's their everyday today
Yeah, but
randori.
Ala, their randori is like, I don't know about the other places, but in Tokai where I was, the randori was nowhere near as intense as
Okay,
some.
it depends, but like it's still every day. It's a day-to-day thing,
Yeah.
right? The accumulation of the years that you goes to totals up. It adds up. No
Yeah.
matter what, like you're going into there every single day, doing at least 5 rounds, at least, where we say at least 5 rounds of 5 good fights every single day. How many rounds do you do in that caliber when you are in the US?
Well, yeah, I'm not obviously I'm not comparing myself to Ono, but like
No. I'm just
you know.
not comparing yourself to Ono, but this is general guidelines on everything and everyone. So it's
yeah,
not
but like
Ono.
you can't compare
Like this
you can't
guy-
compare
he can-
countries like that.
Japan can produce multiple Onos because of that system. Multiple,
Yeah.
not just one. You can produce. You can have like. Just look at how the 60 kilo division, the 66, Maruyama and Abe.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, who do you gonna think? Who do you gonna put into that division as in the Olympics?
Whoever
Even-
wins the fight off.
It doesn't matter. Like that's whoever's gonna win the fight up. So that's the thing. But like, it's okay. You having multiple now. You're like, okay, shit. Who am I gonna put?
Allah,
That's a
there's
problem.
a better example, man.
What?
There's a better example. The guy that beat Teddy, a guy that hadn't been thrown for
And
10
he's not on the Olympic. He did not get in the Olympic spot.
That's the most. I think that's a little bit of a ridiculous choice,
Wait,
to be honest.
who's going instead of him?
No, but like Harasawa is like
Oh,
Harasawa
Harasawa.
on the
Okay,
line,
okay.
and Harasawa is like the Olympic silver medalist.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you
the thing with
gotta go for the guy that beat Teddy.
I mean, the thing with Harasawa,
you,
though,
For
he's gotten
me,
close, too.
for the regular people, they're gonna be like, oh no, this guy beat Teddy, we're gonna put him in. But like Japan doesn't work like that. It's like, okay, this guy have a centralized system. They work with this guy forever. And this guy is like, whoa, it's not like this guy proved himself in multiple events, not just one.
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem for Kokoro was that he lost the match right after beating Teddy.
No, he lost the final.
He lost the final. He lost the final after beating Teddy.
Yeah, if he did win, if he beat Hank Grohl in the final, he probably would have got the spot.
I mean, there's also like,
I don't
you
think
gotta
he will
keep-
get his spot because it was still like Harasawa like beat all the other guys except Teddy, and he haven't fought Teddy until he fought Teddy in what, Montreal, right?
Canada, yeah.
Yeah, he fought him in Montreal, and final, and you see that final, he was like just.
I thought that was against. Oh yeah.
I think if you looked up at that final again, it just, I don't know.
Was it close?
It was golden score.
It was
right?
close.
Yeah.
But in the golden score, Teddy beat him. Teddy threw him in the golden
Yeah, like
I think the fight against Lucas was better.
Pollock,
yeah.
yeah.
But even the Japanese guy Kagura, even in Brazil, he was extremely close to beating Teddy.
Yeah.
Like, so like I don't know, like there's one guy in the plus 100s that you have to beat if you want to win, like, and that's Teddy. Like, so you pick the guy that can beat Teddy.
I mean, you also have to keep in mind like the ages of the athletes. You know, like let's say Kokoro's younger than Harasawa is, right?
Yeah.
So Harasawa's probably, if he's gonna go for another cycle, maybe he won't. Kokoro's still gonna have another shot.
Oh, that's fair.
Here's a good point. Now, cycling, when you go to a cycle, right? For me, I was in another country, I would probably don't have a spot. If I was back in Morocco, probably I won't have a spot. I don't have that chance because I'll be like too old. They're gonna say like you're too old for the you're too old for this cycle. Younger guys. Like gonna lead me to right. So now I am living. I can just jump in and just like be. So that's a good thing for me, right?
Yeah.
But I still say I don't like that system because it's like not. I'd rather have someone that is younger and good, and it's like have like a good. How I'm gonna say. Someone that is like have a really good system that he can go and just actually do better instead of me just like going in and just like gambling on things or just like doing everything by myself because I'm like just running in a circle. I feel like I'm just running in a circle, but where we can have like somebody that's younger and it's like, okay, you provide him with the right tools, he can go and actually be something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know where you're coming from, but like speaking like for America, I don't know if that's like realistic within like the near future. Just because one, there's not a lot of athletes, and two, we're all so spread out.
That's the thing.
So yeah,
they have
And
to.
also, I think a lot of us like the system we have now because it gives us so much more freedom that, you know, I mean, America's about freedom.
Yeah.
So we got to have a system that represents the freedom.
They're like, just say that, just like laugh. America's about freedom. Okay, it's at one point, yes, okay.
I mean, obviously, there's always going to be pros and cons to everything. So,
we're gonna get back to you right now. What's the deal with you getting thrown out from every single fitness gym that you go to?
They just don't like me. I don't know, man.
How many gyms have you been to and they just like kicked you out?
It's only been one.
Okay. I thought that it was like multiple. I don't know why. Because I keep like every single time I looked at your Instagram or I looked at your
I was at 3 different gyms because I went to Bulgaria. I was at one gym. They kicked me out after 4 days. Like every day they had something to complain about. And then they just like, the guy just like, yeah, don't come back and here's your money.
Wow.
And I was just like, why? Really?
Oh, they give you your money back?
Yeah.
Damn, in America, they won't give you your money back. They would be like, okay, get out. Don't get your money
Yeah, but like, I felt like maybe like they probably were like they didn't want to risk like the consequences of not giving me my money back.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys are frozen.
Nice mustache.
Well, thank you.
Roses.
You're frozen, John.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah. So yeah, so I don't know. They just kicked me out. Then I went to another gym, and then I came back to England, and now I'm at a gym here, and they haven't kicked me out yet, which is nice.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm friends with some of the I'm friends with at this gym. I've become friends with like a few of the personal trainers, so that like I've like kind of like tied in my existence in the gym. Like I've got friends in there on the inside.
Yeah.
Smart.
So when I'm doing like really stupid stuff, like they're like, "Oh, he's just John. He's an athlete. He has to do that."
So
Wait, why did you get kicked out of the other gym?
They didn't give me a reason.
Dude, you probably scared some members.
Yeah, I think that's actually what happened. I think they were literally complaining. I mean, have you ever seen a guy like lift 100
just,
kilos with the
scared
grips
them
of his
that
elbows?
you lifting that heavy. You just like probably scared them. And
Oh yeah, I was doing rack pulls and just like dropping it on the rack, and I was making a lot of noise.
Oh yeah, like when you go to a personal gym, they don't really like that.
Planet Fitness hates it.
Planet Fitness, they write it to you. There's like you can't drop the weight down, and it's like, why am I coming in here?
And they have the alarm too. Like if you moan, they set off the alarm.
Oh yeah,
So,
the lung alarm.
Yeah, lung alarm. Yeah.
I don't know. I have a history of being kicked out of things, so
That's why I lift in my own space. I'm like, boom, or I go to a personal trainer.
do you have your own home gym there, or?
Yes, I have my whole I have my own stuff, and I go to a studio, personal training studio, where like they just like specialize in that, and they just like train that. You don't have to worry about like dropping out the weight. You don't have to worry about like doing all that kind of stuff because.
Is that where you post all your videos squatting, or is that at the studio? Because that's a bunch of rogue stuff, right?
Oh no, that's my personal spot.
Okay.
Yeah, you got rogue equipment for your personal gym?
Is some of it, yeah. But right now, like for my own, for my new school, I'm gonna have like a own personal setup fitness equipment, where it's just gonna be like a lot of good setup. Like I'm trying to set up my gym to have like a fitness spot, where it's gonna be like strength training, and we have in a mat area, which is gonna be like two level. We have two level. I'm gonna have 2 levels.
That sounds really good. I kind of wish I had that.
Where do you guys where do you live now?
Who?
You.
I'm in London.
You're in London now?
Yeah.
Well, then it's far away from you. I was gonna say like I could invite you guys to our grand opening probably on December, maybe. I'm hoping for the grand opening on December.
Is it a party or just randori?
Both.
It's just gonna be like people coming in, doing judo, having fun with people, just like normal, trying to show the place to people, hey, here's what I'm gonna be, here's what the thing's going. Having more renderers, if people gonna want to just do renderers, if they know what to do, all renderers.
What part of Philly are you in?
What?
You're in Philly, right?
Yeah.
Where like what area in Philly?
City. I'm in Center City. So everything is easy.
That's good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind traveling back to Philadelphia.
You're always welcome. You can come. You see, like this is like my office that has pretty cool, like a guest room office. So
Yeah, it looks really nice.
this is my house, guest room, office, close to everything. Like I'm in Center City, so you're always gonna have your spot when you come in here. Fine. So Jesse, how's the club going?
Great.
How are you guys doing? Like,
So we actually we got kicked out of our first club that we had 2018. 2019 we had to get a new place. 2020 the owner of the building shut down, so we got kicked out of there, and now we're sharing space with an MMA club. So we're actually having a lot of success tying in judo with other arts like just BJJ, wrestling, and it's actually making a big impact in our local community. So there's more people to train with, more, it's it turned out okay. So
that's good.
yeah.
That's
And
good.
then we started striking. I started personally striking myself with like kickboxing, sambo, combat sambo.
Wow.
I'm going to do a tournament. I'm thinking of doing a tournament in November for sambo, I don't know, to make the sambo Pan Am team or whatever. So
Where?
it's in Texas.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you not want to do international judo anymore, Jesse? Or
I do. I'm just going to wait till next year. Like Ala was saying, I just want to see how everything works out and who's going to show up and what they do with the points and stuff, because I don't really want to risk it. So I'm just kind of letting everybody else do their thing, so I know how all that works out before I go out there and put all that money and effort. And because right now I still have to lose 30 pounds. Like I start off at 225. I'm 200 right now, but that's a lot of effort for me to start losing the weight and go back to training and all that
I
other
was thinking
stuff.
that was just me, the one that is fat right now. Damn.
No, I'm fat, man. I can't see my toes, honestly. But,
Good, Liam.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a little fluffy, not too bad, but I'm like 180 right now.
Yes, damn, I'm heavier than you. Come on, Liam. I can't be heavier than you.
I mean, like 84, like 83, 82 kilos for me is a lot because, like, usually I'm not that heavy.
How
But I have
about
no reason to
Artur?
cut right now. So,
How about
like,
your brother?
he's like 86, 87.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not
so you
bad.
guys are pretty close.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to cut, though, because, like, the saunas and stuff are all closed, obviously. So you have to run outside or go to the gym to run with a mask. But I'm not trying to do all that. So,
Dude, you live in Texas. It's not like it's always hot outside anyway.
we had one day that was like 60 degrees. The next day it was back up to 90.
Dude,
I
it
know.
snowed. It snowed over here last week.
That's
for 2 days.
Colorado, though. That's Colorado, not Texas.
I know, man. This thing is terrible. Like, it says like, the temperature is 87, but the feel is 103, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Like,
That's yeah, you guys got some good weather over there in America.
is that what you call good weather?
It's because we're free.
You're free to have
weather?
fires on half the country, and
That's Cali and Oregon.
Dude, the weathermen here in Texas are like, it's gonna be 103 with a chance of snow and tornadoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
sounds great. All right, so I think we've been going on for about 2 hours now.
Yeah.
So I
This
think any final
I've
thoughts?
just been getting like some calls that I probably need to leave. So
Yeah, so
I forgot myself.
So anyone have any final thoughts? Any last things you want to ask?
Thank you for coming, Ala.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you for coming on, Ala.
A
It was good
pleasure.
catching up with you, man.
Actually, I was thinking of this. I was thinking of doing this more often, but like maybe just like me and someone from the US Judo, and we just like talk about judo, talk about progression, talk about life in general, like strength training.
Yeah,
things
and
like-
Ala, you're welcome to come back on. I'll probably invite you back on.
Hey,
I have
it's my
a question.
pleasure.
I have a question really quick. What's your clean and press? Like, what's your heaviest? What's your max?
Yeah, give me your lifting stats.
Yeah.
What's your heaviest lifts?
What's your 40-yard dash?
So my squats is for now it's 425. I can go for four reps.
400 for reps?
425.
For reps.
Yeah, for 4 reps.
Good God.
So that's great.
You're forgetting Ala's shaped like a box though. Like it's just a straight mass. Like
Yeah. My deadlift is 405. That was the heaviest I've reached for now.
Your legs are overpowering your back there, I feel.
Yeah. And my bench press is 225 for now. I don't really do overhead press. My overhead press is the weakest, so I don't really do that much. So I'm working on that. But those are my main lifts. I'm 225 on the bench press, 425 on a squat, like that's full squat. 405 on the deadlift. I would say like rows, I can max out to whatever. Like those are the main things. I don't really like go with Olympic lifting. I cleans like mostly like that's it. But
Why?
it's just because I've never learned that way. I never had like a proper, like I've had so many injuries, so it's a risk to take to do Olympic weight lift. So I do not want to break something if I don't have to. Why not? I work with a lot of unilateral stuff like dumbbells, kettlebells, stuff like that. But like I only max out on 4 lifts, which is deadlift, bench press, and squats. I don't really need to do all the other stuff because the all other stuff power is you can just like do it with kettlebells and dumbbells.
Yeah, kettlebells are probably the most versatile for judo.
Yes, have that variety of options that you can do. Plus, you can work your explosive power just by that. You don't really need to max out in your like doing judo. Actually, I think kettlebells are like more of a work to do. It's like if you're working with somebody, you're making a move and it's like one limb, another. It's not like static things. So
And
I don't know, man.
you're actually standing up when you're using kettlebells.
what?
You're actually like standing up and moving athletically with a kettlebell.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jesse?
Oh, I was saying, I wasn't very confident starting out in March when I was doing my Olympic lifting too. Like for example, the clean and press, my favorite one.
Yeah.
I only started off with 160 pounds, and that's literally all I could press above my head. But doing it for months and months, I went all the way up to 245.
Yeah, you can. Like it's definitely like it's not like I said something wrong with doing that.
Yeah.
It's like I've had so many injuries that I do not want to do that, and I'm in a phase in my career or my life that I don't really need that. You can overhead press with a kettlebell, a dumbbell, still goes heavy.
Yeah.
100 pounds or whatever, Or
sometimes I do it with small children too.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just find a way of like how overhead pressing with something, right? But it's just in judo. Do you overhead press someone?
Yeah.
Who?
A
overhead
lot
press
of people. You can ask Liam whenever I'm on the ground, and I let you pin me sometimes, and I literally just push you off of me.
Well, that's not an overhead press. That's a bent. That's like you're pushing this direction. You're not pushing this direction.
Well, maybe if you're in like a kataguruma.
Okay.
Do you really think Jesse does kataguruma?
You're going in overhead press like this, right? But but you're bench pressing like this. So if someone is on your chest, is this the movements? 1, 2, all the time. You
Yeah.
never go up like this.
I'll have to take a video. I'll have to
Like,
show you.
I mean,
Even
unless you're in a-
look, if you
unless
do
you're in a
Seinagi's,
stance-
right? You
Yeah.
pull and you go.
Yeah.
Right? That's nothing near overhead pressing. So you don't really need that.
What about Sode?
It goes straight across. You don't have to lift your opponent's hand.
That's
Maybe
why I can't throw people with Sode. God,
He's not doing the technique right.
Come on, Jesse. Come on.
he's trying to pick you
A
up.
lot
by
of
your
like
wrist.
you're gonna go. So there's 4 main lifts that you can four main lifts that you use in judo.
Curls.
4. So like rowing,
Yeah.
right? Squatting, bench pressing. That's pretty much 3. Sorry. Deadlifting. So because you picking up something, those are the 4 like core things that you have to like be strong at. The rest is complementary. So you just like complete your training.
All right,
mean-
I'm gonna be a jerk real quick. When's the last time somebody was on the floor and you had to deadlift them up to try to throw them? Like,
Well, it's when someone's trying to pull my shoulders down, I can keep my back
So
up.
when someone, it's not, you're not deadlifting him, but like you're just like picking him up. Like the deadlift doesn't have to do like you don't have to apply it in judo. The deadlift is just like you're trying to get that strength going into like you're always going down and you're lifting somebody, right? You're doing Seinagi, you can go underneath him, right, and go up. So do you have that power of coming up? Some
sometimes.
people they don't. So that's why you're using the deadlift of like going down and just like coming up. So it's kind of like it applies to the judo more when you like an athlete that does like a lot of seiyotoshis.
I mean, but
I'm not saying drop because there is a drop in Japanese is called seiyotoshi. Otoshi, dropping on your knees.
and
So
the Japanese, the Japanese and the Koreans base their lifting in Olympic lifting.
yes, because that's power. That's. I'm saying again, that's good for you, but it doesn't have to be all like you're gonna do that. It doesn't. Probably is not.
There's many ways.
There's many ways. All the Japanese guys, or all the Korean guys, all the Asian guys, they do powerlifting because it helps in judo. It helps apply in judo, right? But for me personally, I've had so many injuries doing that I can't go with that. So
Sure.
I try to be strong. I am strong as fuck. I know that. So I know that I am strong. I put my hands on you, you're gonna feel my strength. You can feel me. Yeah, and whenever like I bench press or I deadlift, I like my strongest. I'm like strong deadlift and strong like squats for my size, because I've been going in for 145 when I was 145. So now I am heavy. You know, I don't know how I can max out to some other levels, but like when I'm 145, I'm saying 145, my squat still 405, 425. It doesn't change. I'm just telling you, like when I'm 145, I'm still squatting 405. That's a regular basis squat for me. And I do squat like twice a week. Well, I have once I do squat, back squat, once is front squat, and one is deadlift. So
I squat 6 times a week.
that's too much. That's too much. Man, that's too much for me. I can't do that. I just can't.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not sustainable. I'm only doing it for 4 weeks.
Like, my last program I started when I was, let me see. I started my cycle 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I started with 196 pound. In 5 weeks, I made it back to 180. 180 pound. That's without like doing judo or jiu-jitsu or anything. I'm just like doing straight lifting for 4 times a week. I dropped down from 196 to 180, 81, right? And I took a week off. So this week it was my weekday doing nothing, just teaching. And I am like, right now I'm 186, but this is just like food and not doing anything, not moving. But as soon as I start moving, I will go back to 181. Then my next cycle, I'm hoping to drop from 180 to 170. All using like just power training. Just like I'm in a different cycle. So
Yeah. And I think we can definitely talk about training another day in more depth.
I agree.
Because I like talking about training a lot.
I like it too. I love it.
Thanks for the thumbs up, Jesse.
Jesse.
All right, guys.
How much you bench press, Jesse?
I don't.
Why?
I don't have a reason.
Why you overhead press?
I feel like it's functional.
Okay.
But the bench, I mean, that's not a good reason though, because the bench press is way more, I can
Way
say
more
as functional or
functional.
way more functional. But in all honesty, I think it's because I don't have somebody to spot me there, and yeah, I don't have it.
I think overhead pressing is way dangerous if you don't know how to do it. That's why I like.
I mean, you can always drop it though. Like whenever you do overhead press, when you do bench, you can't drop it. Like unless go to the
You
side.
always have those pins.
Yeah.
You always can have a spotters. If you buy those pins, and you just like bring. I mean, it's not just bring them, but like whenever like gym you go to, they have like those squat racks or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't squat. Don't do bench press on a regular bench press form. Just do it on a squat rack where they have those pins.
I remember why I don't bench press anymore. It's because one time I went to the gym and I did 40 reps with 45 on each side in a row, and I was just so sore that I just didn't do it again.
I would do it.
So that's my answer.
It's the reason I've ever heard.
All right. So any other things?
I think that's all right.
I think that's enough for today, and we can bring you on for another talk for 2 hours.
Sundays works out well for me. On Sundays, it works out like around between 3 o'clock till 5. I'm usually good.
Yeah. All right.
So anytime you can just like give me a heads up. Can
Yeah.
do like something like this.
Probably give you a week heads up when. And yeah, so thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you.
All right.
And
See you guys later.
Next week, yo.
Be safe.
All right.